Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively we're the Office Blokes.
Yep.
We have 2 other YouTube channels. We've got a Patreon. We have social media. We've got brand new merch. There's a link in the description that'll take you everywhere you need to go.
I'll have to check out that link because I haven't got any.
You'll have to order yourself some,
Someone, when they did the order, forgot about me, I think.
Nah, it's on the way. It is on the way. Anyway,
just in time for summer.
I know.
Yeah, big hoodie. The scarves are coming next week as well.
So what happens when you die?
Nothing.
Stop
dead.
breathing.
That's it.
I think that.
Game over.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Someone always, I used to say, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. People say there's a light and you go to the light.
Yeah.
Now, you follow the light and then that's you being born again. That's the birthing canal and that's the light you see.
Yeah.
So I sort of get that to a certain extent.
So
Obviously
reincarnation then?
Yeah, like, sort of, yeah, I don't, people say I've been reincarnated as like the King or Queen of England or something, or I don't get all that where people go into like get hypnotised and say this is who we used to be, like Napoleon or all these historical people. Well, they do. Don't they? It's always someone unfamous.
I was Napoleon.
In a former life, it was someone dead famous.
You're not like Brian from fucking
no.
around the corner or whatever.
Yeah, it's never that, is it?
Yeah, Brian from Broadheath.
Yeah,
Napoleon.
Oh man, but I do think your first memories is something's got to happen. You'd obviously when you die, close your eyes, but I think then maybe it's like like being born again, I suppose. Maybe.
Fair enough. I don't know what to believe with that, but I do know that the drug DMT, the one that's psychedelic, it's made by your brain and it's released at the point of death apparently. So there's sort of things about people. That's a hallucinogen. So your brain's releasing a hallucinogen into you as you're dying. So
because you get a lot of people that are on like morphine at the end of the days. Do talk a lot, to go a bit crazy sometimes, don't you? And talk, a lot of babble and everything. That's probably, probably why.
Should we find out then?
Yeah, go on.
Let's go for it then. What happens when you die?
What happens when you finally kick the bucket, so to speak? Despite our mostly science-grounded views on death these days, it seems many of us believe in life after it. In 2014, UK citizens were polled by The Telegraph, and just under 60% of respondents said they believe some part of us lives on. In the US, still a very Christian nation, Pew Research in 2015 asked people what happened after you die. The survey found that 72% of Americans believed you go to heaven, which was described as a place where people who have led good lives are eternally rewarded. 54% of US adults replied that they believed in hell, which was described as a place where people who have led bad lives and die without being sorry are eternally punished. With that in mind, welcome to this episode of the Infographic Show, What Happens When You Die. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. It seems a lot of people do believe that after death we might be ensconced in some cloud-strewn paradise, or conversely, if we haven't adhered to the ethics.
I'm making it right, me. There's no way I'm getting in the left.
You're not making it right, you're just being directed there.
There's no road to the left.
So I had this conversation with someone years ago and I said I class myself as an atheist. I don't believe in God, but if I did get up to the pearly gates at the end of my life and they said to me, because you didn't pray every day or go to church, you're not coming in, then I'd turn around and say, well, I've lived my life as a decent person, so that's on you. I don't regret it because I'm not a scumbag. You don't go out killing and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So if like say going to church gets you into heaven,
what if like you got to the pearly gates and it was a fly? And all them flies you've swatted in your life, and he just says, "Come here, mate," and he just goes bush and hits you with a newspaper around the head.
I'd actually kill.
You know what I mean?
For eternity.
Used to say it's human. Yeah, just keeps hitting you on the head. But every time you get up and he just belts you back down again, or stands on you. Yeah, big fly with a big boot just stands on you.
All these insects we've killed. They're running the place.
I just shoo flies out the window.
Yeah.
So for me,
that's what they'll do.
The flyers shoo me out the window, and I'd go and be happy.
That might be their heaven, though. They're coming here for that. Might be you might be at the gates. That might be their gate. You're just assuming it's human.
I'm assuming it doesn't exist.
You just said if I went to the pearly gates.
Yeah, if it did by some miracle turn out to be that is what happens.
Yeah.
Then just because I don't class myself as a Christian or believe in God, I still think I'm a decent person.
It's gonna be full of if there is a heaven and hell, heaven's gonna be just full of do-gooding knobheads. I want to be in hell where all Pause halfway
dear,
through that.
dear.
Yeah, where all the crazy people are.
Remember this one with editing, Dave, won't you?
Yeah, we're all the
Modern day
Yeah.
crazy people. Is
Yeah,
what I was going to
I
say.
think we better press play. Otherwise, some of the might complain.
Bribed to us by our chosen religion or denomination of that religion, we might be faced with eternal hellfire and the prospect of groveling to a bearded red man who hardly ever puts down his pitchfork. But let's start with some empirical realism and what actually happens to the body when we die. Physicians know you're dead because the heart stops beating and there is no longer any electrical activity in your brain. Brain death equals dead, although machines can keep you going a little bit longer. You can also have what's called a cardiac death, which means the heart stops beating and blood no longer flows through your body. The strange, even wonderful thing is, people that have suffered cardiac death but have been brought back to life have said they were aware of what was going on around them. Others have talked about walking towards a light in such a near-death experience. You can be brought back from what we call clinical death, but you only have a grace period of about 4 to 6 minutes. But let's say you get to the light and pass through. This is what we call biological death. Game over, the final whistle, dead as a dodo. This is where it gets kind of undignified, but what do you care, you're dead. Once you're definitely no longer with us, your muscles relax, and this means your sphincter will too, meaning that triple whopper and large fries you had for lunch will spill out of you. The gas you have in you may also leak out and cause a stink. The same goes for the pee you've got in your bladder, so dying, not surprisingly, is a bit of a messy affair.
So dying is similar to drinking 10 pints of scrumpy
Yeah.
and going to bed.
Yeah, having a kebab after it.
And men, you might even ejaculate. As for women, you may give birth after you have died if you were pregnant, which is something called coffin birth. It doesn't happen.
Are we brushing past the
Wow.
may ejaculate when you die?
Wow.
I've never heard of it called coffin birth, have you? Never heard
No,
that phrase.
no, I've not.
So, does that mean, can you get someone pregnant with your death nut?
Must be able to, right?
Instead of pushing, it's the gases in the abdomen that squeeze the newborn into the world. As the body gets rid of what is trapped inside, noises may be emitted from your mouth as air escapes. Nurses and people working close to dead bodies have regularly reported hearing very alive-sounding moans and groans coming from dead bodies.
So creepy.
You may twitch, but this doesn't mean there is life in you, these are just muscle contractions. You could also soon get an erection if you died lying on your stomach and the blood flowed down there. All your blood will pool to a certain area of your body. This is called livor mortis, and it's the reason parts of you will have that dark purple color you have seen on TV. These are the lovely things that can happen quite shortly after you go. With no blood flowing through your body, it will begin to cool down, known as algor mortis, or simply death chill. It will keep cooling until it is the same temperature as your surroundings. You will become stiff within about 2 to 6 hours, and this we call rigor mortis. This is because calcium is getting into your muscle cells. Cells break down without blood flow, and this leads to bacteria growth, and that's why you start to decompose. You may look like your hair or your nails have grown, but that isn't the case. What is happening is that your skin is receding, giving the impression of growth. The skin will loosen too, and blisters will appear on the body. The next stage is putrefaction, when bacteria and microorganisms start feasting on you. You'll soon start to stink as bad as anything you could have imagined while you were alive. One person described the smell as rotten eggs, feces, and a used toilet left out for a month times 1,000.
So
It is
something.
unholy. Soon everything that is soft becomes liquefied, with things like bones, cartilage, and hair remaining strong. You're already well on your way to decomposing by the time you are being put in the ground, but if embalmed and buried, decomposition could be a slow process. Left above ground, you'll be a liquefied mess within about a month, feasted on by insects, maggots, plants, and animals. Underground, some experts say it might take 8 to 12 years before you are reduced to nothing but a skeleton. After around 50 years, even your bones will become part of the earth. We should add the rate of decomposition depends on all manner of factors, too many to list here, but we think you get the picture. While some people report that their near-death experience was a scene to behold, that's not always the case. One person writing on Reddit said his experience was as follows. It was just black emptiness, no thoughts, no consciousness, nothing. Is there really something else? Irish empiricist philosopher George Berkeley was so hell-bent on knowing what happens after death, or those moments during clinical death, that he actually hanged himself to the point of death with a friend nearby ready to cut him down before he died. He believed there was something between heaven and earth, perhaps what philosophers have called the ether. The story.
That's how Kill Bill went, wasn't it?
What?
The actor that played Kill Bill.
I don't know.
autoerotic asphyxiation.
Really?
I think he had a belt round his neck while he was jacking off.
Standard.
Yeah, didn't get it off in time.
Bloody hell. What,
He
his
has
belt
become-
off?
Both.
Standard Saturday night, that.
Lore in philosophical circles, but it's thought all Berkeley really discovered was that hanging hurts your neck. French philosopher René Descartes believed the soul was separate from the body, as many religions will tell you, and perhaps when we die, something lingers on. Friedrich Nietzsche talked about the concept of eternal recurrence, or eternal return, meaning all existence or energy in the universe has forever and will forever keep repeating itself ad infinitum. You live the same life again and again forever. Now, doesn't that make you want to live well? Here we can make similarities to the Buddhist belief of the Wheel of Samsara, wherein all souls or lives will begin a cycle again after death, except not the same exact life. Something we call reincarnation, which some people say is connected to what we sometimes call déjà vu. Buddhists believe we can end this vicious cycle if we can become truly enlightened, therefore achieving nirvana. Or do we make our way to heaven after our bodies stop working, tipping our cap to St. Peter at the pearly gates, hoping he won't deny us entrance for stealing that candy bar when we went on a school trip to Niagara Falls? Will we be taken into paradise, a place replete with excellent foods and gorgeous maidens that make your dead knees go weak? Or will we simply seed the earth, our souls nothing more than a worldly fancy that took our minds off our cosmic insignificance and the feeling of futility that we sometimes experience here on terra firma? While this video was pretty grim, let's for a second step away and think about your life now and how you can make it better.
Insert advert here.
Indeed.
That's
Yeah.
it's hard to know. I mean, are we that significant when we watch these videos about how big the universe actually is? Is it not narcissism to think that we're the ones with our God who we're special and he takes us or she takes us somewhere?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's more likely that actually we're just a tiny little part of this whole thing.
I think things like that give people comfort, though, don't they? You know, especially with religion. You know, what happens when you die? I think it's like a comfort thing, isn't it? You know, over centuries have come up with, you know, scenarios. What happens when you do die? And
I think
you know,
it's been
fair play if people want to think their own thing.
Oh yeah, of course,
Whatever,
yeah.
you know, I'm good with that.
Although I said before, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in sort of life after death and stuff. There's still, you've got to explain away consciousness somehow. Like, where does that actually go? Because energy can't be destroyed. It's just turned into other types of energy.
It's probably something we'll actually never know.
No.
Innit? You can't prove anything one way or the other, can you?
No.
So
I thought I was going to drown years ago, and not in the worst.
Thought I was going to drown.
No, well, I thought I basically thought I was drowning, and if I hadn't have panicked, I could have got out of it.
Fall asleep in the bath.
No, not again. I could have got out of it in a couple of seconds if I hadn't have panicked, but because I panicked, I was sort of splashing about under the water for a bit, stuck under something, and just had a moment of going...
Someone's foot.
No, it was under a boat. I was under a boat, so I could have just gone down and would have been fine, but I was panicking at the time.
Yeah.
I was, only a teenager, and it got to the point where I was like, well, fuck it, that's it then. And actually, there was no like weird stuff like this. I just felt the weight of the world off my shoulders.
Yeah.
It's like I got taller. I just went
calm and peace.
Completely relaxed.
Yeah.
I was like, it don't matter. Don't matter, does it?
Weird.
I'm not on fire. I'm not in pain.
Yeah.
So it don't matter. And then it just kind of floated out from underneath the boat, and I was fine.
But you are drowning.
Fucking hell! I almost died. Get him on the boat.
This is why I said almost, because if I hadn't have panicked, it's piss easy. It's just a whoop, and then you're out. But when you freak out in situations, that's when you get in trouble, isn't it? Interesting one, that though.
Interesting video, yeah.
It is,
yeah. Very much so.
I never thought about it, but there you go.
You never thought about it?
No, I think once you didn't, in my opinion, once you're done, innit?
Yeah, once you go, you go, and yeah.
Well, even if your consciousness goes somewhere or you're reincarnated, you're done. Yeah, because it's starting all over again as something else. So that's are done. Regardless.
Yeah,
I'll deal with that when I come across that.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing you can do about it, is there? So just crack on.
I just pray that I get the boner and ejaculate when I die, just for everyone else's benefit.
It won't be our benefit, mate.
Whilst shitting myself.
There's some doctor guy. To go, mate. Some doctor guy going, oh, Dave. Lee will be there. Doctor's saying, I'm here.
I know he's dead, but did he just wink?
No, wink.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell. It costs nothing.
It's true.
Yeah, it's for free. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Cheers, guys.